Business model insights. I've been thinking about how to make an open source AI memory aid sustainable. It seems like a good approach could be to offer the core application as open source, but then provide additional paid services. These could include things like cloud-based data storage with enhanced security, premium customer support, or even specialized features tailored for businesses or healthcare providers. This way, the community can benefit from the free core software, while I can generate revenue to continue development and support. Security and authentication. Considering the sensitive nature of memory-related data, robust security is paramount. I've been looking into best practices for open-source projects and found that using well-established libraries for authentication and encryption is crucial. For example, for user authentication, methods like multi-factor authentication could add an extra layer of security. When it comes to storing data, encrypting it both in transit and at rest is essential to protect user privacy. Reminder system options. To effectively remind users, the application will need a flexible reminder system. I've been exploring different open-source tools that could help with this. Options include using platform-specific push notification services, integrating with standard calendar applications, and even setting up email reminders. The key will be to make these options configurable by the user so they can choose what works best for them. Next steps in research. Moving forward, I plan to investigate how to design the user interface to be as accessible as possible, especially for individuals who might have memory issues. I'll also look into open source options for incorporating voice interaction features, which could be very beneficial for users. Additionally, I want to start identifying potential platforms and strategies for testing the application with real users to get valuable feedback early on. Monetization paths explored. I've been thinking about how to create a sustainable business around this open source AI memory aid. Several interesting models have emerged, such as offering a basic free version with advanced paid features. The open core approach, providing the software as a cloud service with subscription fees, or focusing on offering specialized support and customization services to businesses. I also noticed examples of successful open source AI companies in the healthcare sector, which is encouraging. Security and user access. Ensuring the security of user data is a top priority. My research points towards using robust, open source libraries for managing user authentication, possibly including options like multi-factor authentication for enhanced security. For storing the memory data, I'll need to implement strong encryption methods to protect it from unauthorized access. It's also important to be mindful of regulations like HIPAA if the application handles sensitive health information. Reminder system components. For the reminder functionality, I've found several open source options that could work well on Linux. This includes dedicated reminder applications and Python libraries for sending push notifications and emails. Integrating with existing calendar applications is another avenue to explore. I'll need to figure out the best way to combine these tools to create a flexible and user-friendly reminder system. Interface design considerations. Designing an interface that is easy to use for individuals with memory issues is crucial. I've been looking at guidelines for accessible design, which emphasize simplicity, clear instructions, consistent layouts, and avoiding unnecessary distractions. I also want to investigate how voice interaction could be integrated to make the application even more accessible. Next, I plan to look at specific examples of memory aid applications and how they've tackled these design business model refinement. I've gained further insights into potential business models for an open source AI memory aid, particularly within the healthcare domain. It appears that offering the core technology as open source while providing value-added services like specialized features, support, or hosted solutions is a common and potentially successful strategy. I've seen examples of this with companies using open source AI in medical imaging and patient data analysis, often through SaaS or subscription-based models. Accessible interface design. The guidelines I've reviewed highlight key principles for designing user interfaces that are accessible to individuals with cognitive impairments, which is directly relevant to memory loss, simplicity, clear structure, consistent design, and the use of plain language or recurring themes. I'm now planning to research specific examples of memory aid applications on Linux to see how they've implemented these principles. I'll also investigate open source UI toolkits for Linux and how to incorporate voice interaction for enhanced accessibility. Next, research steps. To further solidify my understanding and gather actionable information, I will now focus on researching specific monetization strategies for open source health tech on Linux. Best practices for local data encryption, alternative push notification libraries, and examples of accessible memory aid applications for Linux. Monetization and funding. I've found more details on how open source AI projects, especially in health tech, can be monetized, offering support, services, or a more feature-rich hosted version alongside the free open source core seems like a viable path. I also learned about organizations and grants that specifically support open source and health-focused technology, which could be valuable for securing funding. Security and privacy measures. For user authentication in a Linux desktop application, open source solutions like Keycloak and Authelia appear to be good options. When it comes to securing user data locally on Linux, full disk encryption or file-based encryption are recommended best practices. I also need to consider data privacy regulations that might apply to a personal memory aid application. Beyond just HIPAA, reminder and calendar integration, I've identified several open-source Python libraries that can help with implementing reminders and integrating with calendars on Linux. For push notifications, there are alternatives like Apprise and NotifyOSD. For calendar integration, libraries like ~GCAL_sync for Google Calendar and ~iCalendar for standard calendar files could be useful. I'll need to think about the best way to combine these for a seamless user experience. Accessible interface and voice interaction. My research into UI design for cognitive impairment has highlighted the importance of simplicity and consistency. Open source UI toolkits available for Linux, such as GTK and Qt, have built-in accessibility features that I should leverage. For incorporating voice interaction in Python on Linux, libraries like speech recognition and Pitsix3 are available, although Mozilla Models and Koki TTS were also mentioned as options for text-to-speech. Finalizing my research. Having explored various aspects like business models, security, reminder systems, and interface design, I feel I have a comprehensive understanding to move forward. While some very specific implementation details will require further investigation during development, I will now conclude this phase of research and